Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Eloisa Marchesoni. Eloisa Marchesoni is a tokenomics engineer focused on token model architecture, token microeconomic structure, crypto market simulations, and gamification strategies for Web3 businesses. She is currently a partner to venture capitalists and accelerators, while also working as an advisor to self-funded crypto startups, which she has been doing since 2016. Well, good afternoon, Eloisa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is exciting. And this is something that we love to talk about on the show is emerging technologies, but especially the Web3 blockchain space, right? Our platform is built on blockchain, by the way, and we're excited to have you on the show. But talked about some really cool things and your background today. So, Eloisa, I'm going to just jump right into these questions. You've got quite the career in economics, tokenomics specifically, specializing in crypto, blockchain. You're a speaker, an advisor, and now a partner to several VCs and accelerators. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
So I'll actually start from the inspiration. And my main inspiration is people, and technology in the end is done by the people for the people. And this is just the foundation of crypto and why I got into it. So the fact that it's peer-to-peer. And there's no specific secret to my career. I guess what really got me into it is always having been open-minded and sort of having had an awakening, while I was going to college, Ivy League, straight A student. I just felt like I was studying the whole day, but wasn't really applying anything. And so I started going to tech weekends, tech events here and there. And blockchain was a thing, was pretty big in 2016, 17. And I said, let's apply what I'm studying to technology. Turns out that even more so these days with the FTX collapse, we're seeing how much economics actually means for technology too.
Thank you for sharing, Eloisa. I appreciate that. And there's been, a lot going on recently. Your podcast is just timely with the FTX collapse, of course. So, and that's the segue into my next question here is talk to us about the future of crypto in light of the recent news of FTX, as you mentioned, and what holds the most promise in the blockchain space?
Yeah. And, I think we could go on and on here, and it's still like an ongoing soap opera. So I can't really tell you where this all will go, but for sure, it doesn't sound like it will spark new technology or new methodologies in crypto. This FTX collapse really is going to get us back to the basics. So what I did yesterday night was actually hammering my new hardware wallet passphrase onto steel. So really going back to the basics, going back to peer-to-peer, getting everything off the centralized exchanges, and going back to analyzing economics. So, the good old corporate finance book and the good old accounting. This is really what we need to do and what the auditing will need to look like for every company in Web3. And this is really what tokenomics is all about. So modeling out the economics, the governance, making sure that, every project is transparent enough that it could pass an audit. And I really hope that we will get more auditing even on the portfolio companies that are in the portfolios of these VCs and funds that I work with. That's really all we're working towards too. And, speaking about crypto more in general, I think regulation is going to come stronger and harder at us, but it's not necessarily bad. At least now we all see the necessity, and we are going to see CBDCs come strong into action. And we're going to just have to accept that TradFi cannot be bypassed totally. We're going to need to find like a new agreement with regulators and traditional finance and take what's good from them. And hopefully they'll do the same with, the good lessons learned from the Web3.
Thank you, Eloisa, for sharing. You're absolutely right. I think we're going to have to reset, right? A lot of things have come into play just in this last several months, the economy and how a lot of some of the powerhouses like Bitcoin have lost a lot of their value over the last 18 months. But thank you for sharing. And Eloisa, we're a technology platform publication. We focus on emerging tech, as I mentioned. We'd like to know, our audience, are you leveraging any new emerging technologies in your practice? And if not, maybe you found a cool tool or app or platform that you found useful you might want to share with us today.
So the answer to that, unfortunately, is no. Tokenomics, as it is, it's on the books, and the best tool there is really getting into those Excel sheets with the calculations, the formulae, and using good old Python to code simulations. Though there have been some cool tools that have been published on the web, and those are especially useful for the simulations part, like a thing called CAD or another thing called Machinations. Machinations is specific for GameFi and gamified projects. And those just need the inputs, and they will, simulate whatever token model you have set up for your own project. But the hardest part, which is, going through the discovery phase and then going through the actual design for the technology, for the economics and the governance, there's nothing that can really help there. And it's a lot of trials and a lot of iterative processes going on. So not really, but it's good to simulate if you have a token model, and good to know that there's something out there at least to notice if you have to go back and rework, and then just reach out to experts out there. It's the best thing.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. Appreciate your honesty there with that, but also some of your insights, because you've again traversed this area of tokenomics and have quite a bit of background in it. So it's very helpful. And Eloisa, last question of the day. Can you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in emerging tech like Web3 or leadership?
Yes, of course. So emerging tech, especially, I started when I was really young, and emerging tech looked like all of it was gold that was just shining bright in the sun. But really, once you start digging into it, not all of it is actual gold. And it's full of temptations, because emerging tech is usually a new world. Everything is unexplored. It's not regulated, and nobody really gives you a set of instructions or rules to follow. And what I've learned in this brief yet intense career is to stay true to myself and to my passion, my inspiration, what got me into emerging technologies. And the same goes to anyone wanting to start this career path. I've seen a lot of, especially young people, but not just young ones, getting into crypto, into Web3 with, very pure intentions. And then I understand one makes compromises, but, I'd say 50% of these people have just gone, completely sideways, down bad roads, with, they probably now have a project at hand that is not doing well with this collapse. And I think I've said everything. So best thing is to find a compromise with who you are as a human, as a person, and then of course, have your own reality check in the market, but never give up your own inspiration.
Thank you. And again, we love the gems. We kind of wrap that up at the end of the podcast. Here is just some insights, some personal insights from the guest. And this has always gone a long ways with our audience. So thank you again, Eloisa. And it was a pleasure having you on today. And I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Yes. Thank you very much, guys. Ciao.
Bye for now.